Moving on, we are to learn the midpoint formula. So we have 2 points, one in red, denoted as x1, comma, y1, and another in blue, denoted as x2, comma, y2. And in today's case, we are not finding the distance, but the midpoint. So the midpoint is a point that lies just right in between the two coordinates here. So we are to join the two coordinates by the dash line. And suppose we have this point that is our midpoint. So let me just say x naught, comma, y naught. And if we are to look for the distance between the red point, the coordinate 1, the distance between that to my midpoint, I would label that as length 1. And I have my midpoint to the other coordinate, label it as length 2. In order for my midpoint in orange, labeled as x naught, y naught, my length 1 has to be equal to length 2. What is the characteristic of this midpoint that just lies in between the two coordinates given? By taking the average, we can respectively get our x naught and y naught. And now let's take the average value. You have x1 plus x2 over the number of terms here, so 2. And let's take the y value, average. You have y1 plus y2 divided over 2. And this coordinate is the coordinate of our midpoint. Moving on, we are to do 2 questions again to find the midpoint. Rearrange our coordinates. We have minus 14, comma, minus 4, and 1, comma, 8. You are required to label these as x1, y1, and x2, y2. You can label it the other way around. Have your minus 14 as x2 and minus 4 as y2. That does not matter because we are taking the average. And let's recall our midpoint formula. So the coordinate of the midpoint is the average of the corresponding x values and y values. I believe you should have x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. Let's give yourself a try. x1 minus 14 plus x2, 1, and everything over 2, comma, you have y1 minus 4 plus y2, that is h, everything over 2. In coordinate form, you have that's midpoint. And you are to simplify that. I believe you are to simplify the addition subtraction. And you should have 4 over 2. You can simplify the 4 over 2 further. And I believe you should have your midpoint as minus 13 over 2, comma 2 as your final answer. Moving on, we are to find the midpoint and rearrange your 2 points given, minus 2, comma 10, and 5, comma minus 3. We are to label it, so this time I can label it around. So I have my 5 as x1 and minus 3 as my y1 and minus 2 as my x2 and y2 as 10. Recall your formula. So midpoint is the average of the two x and y values. Correspondingly, you have x1 plus x2, everything over 2, comma, y1 plus y2, everything over 2 in coordinate. Give yourself a try. So x1, 5, plus x2, that's minus 2 over 2, comma, you have y1 minus 3 plus y2, 10 over 2 in coordinate, and you are required to simplify. So I believe you should have 3 over 2, comma, and 7 over 2. And that is the final answer.